What's up everybody, Christian James here. Today's video, there seems to be a double standard in Canada. It's taking me about 3 or 4 days to figure out how I'm going to put this video together, because usually my videos, for those of you who watch, thank you very much for watching, the 500 plus people who have subscribed, it's just a rant with a thought. I've tried to approach this video this way, and that's not plausible to do it because there's too many things to cover and there's too much detail to get into. But let's see if we can unpack this together. So we all know what happened on October 7th. If you're not familiar with what happened on October 7th, Hamas attacked Israel. And since then, we've had Palestinian protests all over Canada, the US, England. I'm sure everybody where Palestinian or Muslim people live, which is essentially everywhere other than China. And Japan, probably. But that's not what this is about. There is legit a double standard in Canada for many things nowadays, but especially who you can protest against, who you can protest on behalf of, and how you can protest apparently. So we're going to start with the police response to the protest with the people from protesting on behalf of Palestine or Hamas, and the Canadian protest from the trucker rally from last year. Now give me 1 second and I'll be right. So on January 20th of 2022, a lot of truckers left from BC and the East Coast to converge on Ottawa, Ontario, Canada's capital, for January 27th. And then from January 27th till February 20th, give or take 3 weeks, there was a protest downtown Ottawa in front of Parliament. I don't know what the name of the street was, but I know it was peaceful, it was loud, it was annoying for a lot of people, but there was, as far as I can see, 0 recorded assaults by people at the protest, 0 incidents other than people being driven crazy by the honking, and I'm sure some people got into the truckers because they wanted to leave, they didn't want to leave, yada yada yada. But the police response, and that's what I'm getting at, is completely different for the Ottawa protesters to the Palestinian protesters. In Ottawa, they used force and horses. In Toronto, when they took over the bridge, they got coffee brought to them, not paid for by the cops, brought to them by the cops. So what this says to me, what it says to, I assume, most Canadians and people all over the world that have seen this, if you protest Canada as a Canadian citizen, you protest Justin Trudeau, the Liberal Party, you will be assaulted and essentially victimized by your own government. But if you support Hamas, if you support a free Palestine and a ceasefire, by the way, there was a ceasefire, it ended on October 7th when Hamas attacked Israel, that's perfectly fine. You can do whatever you want. You can protest, you can threaten police like this guy did here.
You come near me, I'll put you lay down on the floor. I'll lay you sleep. I'll put you 6 feet deep. I'll put you 6 feet.
And nothing will happen. Or you can be like this older gentleman from Ottawa and get thrown onto the ground when you're 85 years old, 100 pounds, and 5'2", because failure to ID, instead of just, convincing the senior to do it, this cop lost his mind and threw him on the ground. Here's the video.
Anything. It's against the law. You just... For what? Hey! What are you doing? Hey! That's assault! I've got it all on video. Yeah, he failed to ID. Get back! Hey! Get back!
Last but not least, there's a response online from the media, from our actual federal government, the Liberal Party of Canada. Because keep in mind, they were in charge 2 years ago. They're in charge now. People who didn't want to get the vaccine were called racist and misogynist. People who support a terrorist organization are called protesters. If you wanted freedom in your own country, you were called a Nazi and a terrorist. If you want people killed in another country and you want a ceasefire, even though the people that you're protesting on behalf of broke the ceasefire, you're called a protester. So Canada is the place of freedom if you want to protest on behalf of somewhere else. Have at it. Disrupt skating rinks, disrupt people at Christmas time, disrupt people getting pictures of Santa Claus, disrupt people doing whatever you want, driving their car on the highway, whatever you want. Apparently you can even firebomb Jewish delicatessens. But if you want the right to personal body autonomy, if you don't want to take an experimental shot, and that's not what this is about, but it's experimental, people. There was no research done, there was no trials done that were accurate and fair like most vaccines have done, then you're a racist and misogynist. So, to Trudeau and the Liberal Party, it's painfully obvious that you don't give a shit about Canadians at all. Inflation is up. The cost of living is up. Everything is up and through the roof. Nothing is better. And if you protest this, a racist, a misogynist, and assaulted by the police for even showing support for people who want Canadians to be free and essentially make Canada great again type stuff. But if you support terrorists, if you support a country, not even a country, a religion that speaks of peace but shows nothing in a lot of cases but savagery. If you threaten our police officers, I'll put you 6 feet deep. If you harass people at the mall, as long as it's not on behalf of Canadian citizens for freedom in Canada, it's perfectly fine. So we do have a double standard in Canada. And unless we vote Trudeau out, and hope to God Pierre Poilievre or Polier or whatever the hell your name is, sir, does a better job, I don't know what else we do. Because it's either we lead to protests in the street, similar to the ones in Ireland, or we end up with wars in the street between people who want to protest on behalf of terrorists and people who want Canada to be a nice, peaceful nation like it used to be. Or we're going to hell in a handbasket. Tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.